Day. He assured residents that the command remained fully committed to ensuring the safety, peace and security of India and Anambra throughout the Ember Months and beyond. The police boss urged residents should be cautious of online transactions, fraudulent investment schemes, fake job offers, and identity theft, which often increase during the festive period. The CP also restated his resolve to always attend to complaints of misconduct by personnel, share security information, and request for security services. He encouraged residents to reach the police command central control room hotlines in times of emergency. Nigerian Army yesterday confirmed the death of a soldier who was attacked by a mentally unstable man in the Imota area of Ikorodu, Lagos. The attacker, the army said, was killed by other soldiers who intervened at the scene. In a statement, the spokesman for the 81 Division Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahaya, said the incident occurred around 4 p.m. on November 16. According to Yahaya, the mentally unstable man hit the soldier with a log on his head while the personnel were trying to calm a chaotic situation. It added that an investigation has been launched to ascertain the full circumstances surrounding the incident, urging the public to remain vigilant, report suspicious activities, and avoid spreading unverified information while the probe continues. 2 people have been reportedly killed by suspected bandits during an attack in Eroku, a boundary town in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State. The gunmen stormed the outskirts of the community on Tuesday evening, targeting the parish of Christ Apostolic Church, Oke Ishegun, and forcing residents to flee. Eroku has faced repeated attacks in the last 3 weeks, heightening fear and frustration among locals, despite efforts by police, vigilantes, and the Eroku Progressive Union to curb the assaults. Police later recovered the bodies of Aderemi inside the church and Tunde Asaba Ajayi in the nearby bush, while a vigilante member Shegun Adaja was injured and taken to hospital. The exact number of abducted victims remains unclear, but residents said the gunmen escaped through bush paths leading to neighboring communities in Kogi State. Earlier the same evening, another group of attackers reportedly ambushed travelers and residents along the Ilorin-Kawa road, forcing many to flee into nearby bushes. The incident comes days after 26 schoolgirls were abducted in Kebbi State, where the vice principal of their school was killed, further underscoring rising insecurity in northern communities. Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak has called for urgent reinforcement of security in the Ekiti local government area, particularly the Eroku axis, following a new wave of attacks in the community on Tuesday. In a statement signed and released on Wednesday by the governor's chief press secretary, Rafiu Ajakaye, Abdulrazak urged the deployment of additional security operatives to support existing personnel in the area. Condemning the unconscionable attack, the governor expressed sympathy for the people of Eroku and its environs, particularly families and members of the Christ Apostolic Church who were directly affected by the assault. He reassured residents that the state government would continue to back security agencies in efforts to safeguard lives and properties across Kwara State. Abdulrazak also commended President Bola Tinubu for the recent deployment of 900 additional troops to Kwara, noting that the move is expected to strengthen security in the state. Kano State Hisbah Board has arrested 7 people for allegedly engaging in immoral activities at the joint along Zoo Road in Kano Metropolis. The board's Deputy Commander General Mujahideen Aminuddin disclosed this in a statement made available to newsmen on Wednesday. Aminuddin said the arrests were made on Tuesday night following complaints from residents. Aminuddin explained that while some suspects were from Kano, others hailed from Bauchi and Kogi State, adding that the most disturbing thing is that the oldest among them is 23 years. He revealed that operatives also apprehended a teenage boy and a young girl found in a compromising situation inside the tricycle. According to him, the total number of suspects arrested now stands at 10, and they will be charged to court after investigations. He recalled that the board's anti-trafficking unit had on Saturday foiled an attempt to traffic 2 girls to Lagos for onward transportation to Saudi Arabia. The victims were identified as 16-year-old Zahara Audu from Zaria, Kaduna State, and 18-year-old Kajaha Salim from Fagge, Kaduna State. In October, the board arrested about 25 people for allegedly organizing same-sex marriage in the Hotoro area of Kano Metropolis. Aminuddin said the suspects, comprising 18 males and 7 females, were apprehended at the Fatima Event Center located along Hotoro Bypass in Kano Metropolis on Saturday. Sokoto State Police Command has arrested 3 suspects identified as Yahaya Atta and Masood Abubakar, both of Diplomat area, Sokoto, and Mustafa Mohammed of Emir Yahaya area for allegedly robbing a commercial tricyclist of his vehicle. This was disclosed in a statement issued on Wednesday by the police public relations officer DSP Ahmad Rafai. Rafai said the incident occurred on October 13, 2025 around 9 p.m. when the suspect stopped the victim, Osman Babangida, at Diplomat area and pretended they needed a ride to Damboa roundabout. However, midway into the trip, the suspect reportedly attacked Babangida, tied him with a rope and pushed him out of the moving tricycle and fled with the vehicle. The police said the victim immediately reported the attack at Dadin Kowa police station, prompting detectives from the Criminal Investigation Department's anti-fraud unit to launch a manhunt. Rufai disclosed that the suspects were eventually traced and arrested in Agongo local government area of Kebbi State, where they were attempting to sell the stolen tricycle. Commending the officers for the swift operation, the Commissioner of Police Sokoto State Command reiterated the command's commitment to tackling crime and safeguarding residents. He also urged the public to remain alert and provide timely, credible information to aid police officer efforts. Borno State Governor Babangana Zulum on Wednesday said the security situation in the state has significantly improved, declaring that the worst is over. Governor Zulum made a statement during a meeting with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Shuaibu Waidi in Maiduguri. While delivering his remarks, Zulum stated that compared to the peak of the crisis years ago, the current security landscape, despite recent setbacks, shows significant improvement. He also called on the people of Borno State to continue cooperating with and supporting the military and other security agencies. The governor emphasized that the war against terrorism requires collective efforts, urging residents to be vigilant and provide timely intelligence to security operatives to prevent attacks and ensure lasting peace in the state. Zulum commiserated with the Nigerian army over the recent tactical setbacks across the theater. He praised the sacrifice and bravery of officers and soldiers, describing them as heroes who in some cases paid the ultimate price for the nation's security. Bauchi State Police Command has confirmed the death of Bello Alamin Waziri aka Alamin Koyi in a reprisal attack by a rival gang. 3 suspects have been arrested and 2 weapons recovered. The incident occurred on November 8, 2025 in Ugunwan Dawaki after a clash between youths from Angunwan Makafi and Ugunwan Dawaki. Bello Alamin was found unconscious and later pronounced dead at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital. Arrested suspects include Sadiq Aliyu, Abdullahi aka Nahau, Umar Salisu aka Shaka, and Aliyu Abubakar aka Ababigi. Sadiq reportedly lost 3 fingers during the attack. Bauchi Commissioner of Police CP Sani Omodori Aliyu condemned the rising youth violence, warning that mob action is punishable under law. The case has been transferred to the State's Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has advised the board and management of the newly established South-South Development Commission to carry out their duties on the mandate of President Bola Tinubu without yielding to political distractions, sentiments, or external pressures. Wike offered the advice while receiving the board and management of the SSDC led by its board chairman, Prince Chinodum Nwuche, and managing director, Ms. Osoro Akpabio, who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja.
I advise you, because it is not easy, particularly the managing director and the executive directors. If you don't work with the board, you won't achieve anything. You will not achieve anything. That you can't go and be here, okay, dissolve the board and this and that. Today you are united because no project has been given to you, no money has been given. They are working as people together, twins, identical twins. The day money has come, then you will see propaganda against you. How you have spent 50 billion without approval? Then you come back, oh, the chairman wants me to do what is wrong because I'm not giving him all the contract. All kinds of stories will come up. I want to advise you. That cannot be an achievement for you at the end of the day. Don't let Mr. President down. Make him feel happy that he did not make a mistake in appointing you. No matter whatever they criticize me here, if I leave him today, my shoulders high, I say yes. Nobody can say. The only thing they can say, oh, I'm stubborn. Yes, principle, yeah, why would I be stubborn? The right thing must be done. must face. If you want to go to a state to do project, sit down with the people, with the stakeholders. What really do you want? Don't in your own office design project for River State, for Akwa Ibom, for no. Go and ask them. What is your need? What is your need? That's what we call community budgeting, where they participate. When I came here, I went to all the area councils, sat them with their chiefs, their youths, their women. What do you want now? What is the immediate problem? They say, sir, if you can do this road here, if you can provide all this police station, we'll be okay. To work together, to respect one another. Because respect begets respect. Do things. We're all human. We agree to disagree. We disagree to agree. At the end of the day, for whose interest? For the interest of these people of the South region. It's very, very key. So once more, I congratulate you. I thank you. I know the capacity of your chairman. You know, he's been in this little, but he's a private business person, but he's doing a public executive work now. You know, as a legislator, is totally different from executive job. I used to tell them, executive is totally different from passing bills. It's difficult. As a private businessman, it's difficult when you're in the public sector. So you must know how to manage it, balance it. So the MD have a Herculean task. When women lead, you get success.
Discuss privately with you. This meeting is to get us in on this game that you are. We've come today to pay our respects, to thank you for the support that you gave both to the passage of the South-South Development Commission bill and the appointment of many of our members who are on this board today. You are a leader of this country and the foremost leader of our region. Commission will emulate your model of development, which implemented in River State and saw our state develop to a premier status in the country, and which you brought to the FCT, Abuja. Today's meeting is to thank you and to say that this board will work closely with you. Our people are fully behind you, to encourage you, to say that, you know, when a tree bears ripe fruits, there are plenty of stones. We'll actually discuss privately with you. We are feeling the ground running. Our members, our MD and members have visited several MDAs seeking for cooperation. What we're waiting for now is as soon as the government brings all these funds to us, we shall start immediately to implement the project, the quick wins that we've already outlined. But I assure you that we will not disappoint you and other leaders. We shall ensure that this commission is an example to other commissions. We'll work in harmony. There will be no rancor. The MD will work with the EDs and other members in mutual respect, in brotherhood. And they'll work with the board. You won't hear about quarrels on this board, Your Excellency. We shall be single-minded in our pursuit of development of our region. Our region bears resources for this country, but it's underdeveloped. We shall work with you through your guidance to ensure that in this short time that we're here for 4 years, that we make an impact that is positive. Excellency, once again, thank you very much.
The minister urged the board to work based on the people's needs, not their personal perspectives, warning against repeating mistakes such as project duplication, politically motivated contracts, or abandoning community engagement.
Nobody wants to comply, nobody. So these are challenges you must face. If you want to go to a state to do project, sit down with the people, with the stakeholders. What really do you want? Don't in your own office design project for River State, for Akwa Ibom, for no. Go and ask them. What is your need? What is your need? That's what we call community budgeting, where they participate. When I came here, I went to all the area councils, sat them with their chiefs, their youths, their women. What do you want now? What is the immediate problem? They say, sir, if you can do this road here, if you can provide all this police station, we'll be okay. To work together, to respect one another. Because respect begets respect. Do things. We're all human. We agree to disagree. We disagree to agree. At the end of the day, for whose interest? For the interest of the people of the South region. It's very, very key. So once more, I congratulate you. I thank you. I know the capacity of your chairman. You know, he's been in his little, but he's a private business person, but he's doing a public executive work now. You know, as a legislator, it's totally different from executive job. I used to tell them, executive is totally different from passing bills. It's difficult. As a private businessman, it's difficult when you're in the public sector. So you must know how to manage it, balance it. So them, they have a Herculean task. When women lead, you get success.
Earlier, the board chairman of SSDC, Prince Chinno Dom Nwuche, gave assurance that the board will be fully committed to delivering on the people's mandate to drive regional development and economic growth. He also emphasized strengthening the government liaison office in the FCT to deepen collaborations and strategic engagement with federal ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as key stakeholders to ensure the South remains at the forefront of policy administration and action plans.
That you are. We've come today to pay our respects, to thank you for the support that you gave both to the passage of the South-South Commission Bill and the appointment of many of our members who are on this board today. You are a leader of this country and the foremost leader of our region. The Commission will emulate your model of development, which implemented in River State, and saw our state develop to a premier status in the country, and which you brought to the FCT, to Abuja. Today's meeting is to thank you and to say that this board will work closely with you. Our people are fully behind you, to encourage you, to say that, you know, when a tree bears ripe fruits, there are plenty of stones. We'll have to discuss privately with you. We are feeling the ground running. Our members, our MD and members have visited several MDAs seeking for cooperation. What we're waiting for now is as soon as the government brings these funds to us, we shall start immediately to implement the project, the quick wins that we've already outlined. But I assure you that we will not disappoint you and other leaders. We shall ensure that this commission is an example to other commissions. We will work in harmony. There will be no rancor. The MD will work with the EDs and other members in mutual respect, in brotherhood. And we'll work with the board. You won't hear about quarrels on this board, Your Excellency. We shall be single-minded in our pursuit of development of our region. Our region bears resources for this country, but it's underdeveloped. We shall work with you through your guidance to ensure that in this short time that we're here for 4 years, that we make an impact that is positive. Your Excellency, once again, thank you very much.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has expressed dissatisfaction with the pace of work at the ongoing Judges' Quarters and Court of Appeal Complex in Daki BU, Jabi, Abuja, warning that the contractor is unlikely to meet the revised December completion deadline. Addressing the press after an inspection tour of the project, he noted that although significant progress had been made, the finishing phase was dragging beyond acceptable timelines.
The residences of the justices at Gishiri were satisfied with the extent of work. It's turning out very well. They have 20 there for the FCT High Court. We have 10 for the Federal High Court, and then 10 for the Court of Appeal. That way, Daki PU, this is the Court of Appeal Abuja Division Complex. Initially, the contractors agreed to complete this project by September 2 months ago, and they wrote to us to extend it to December. Of course, they had one or two setbacks. But I haven't come to see the place by myself now. I don't think it is possible, even the December they are talking about. Yes, the work is going on very well, but finishing requires a lot of time. So I would say that I don't believe December that they will handle. I really don't think so. Probably it may handle by January, but that is not what we expected at all. But about the quality of job being done, I think in the two areas we went to, we are quite satisfied with the work. But let's continue to hope, as they have said. Let's continue to hope. That's what we are.
Speaking on the significance of the project to Nigeria's justice system, Wike emphasized that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is committed to strengthening the judiciary through improved welfare and infrastructure.
The opening ceremony, which Mr. President declared open of the Conference of Judges of Superior Courts, you can't talk about confidence of judiciary without talking about investment in infrastructure, without talking about judicial welfare, because these are things that make them have confidence in doing their job. And so one of the key things for Mr. President is not only to support them, but also make them have confidence in carrying out their assignment. And so for Mr. President, if you don't have the confidence in the judiciary, then you may not be sure, because they, of course, sustain our democracy. And so all we are doing here is to create that enabling environment where they can put in their best and have that public trust that they are carrying out their jobs.
Zamfara State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress has cautioned its members against engaging in anti-party activities, warning that it will no longer tolerate actions capable of creating friction or division within the party. In a statement by the State Publicity Secretary Yusuf Idris Goso, the party dismissed a speculative online report alleging that some aggrieved members from the Shinkafi area had taken the state chapter to court over an alleged unconstitutional sanction. The APC described the report as false and baseless, insisting it was fabricated by individuals bent on damaging the party's growing positive image in the state. The party clarified that it had not disciplined or suspended any member from Shinkafi and had not received any court orders suggesting otherwise. It added that those spreading such claims may simply be expressing fear of possible disciplinary action due to their continued involvement in anti-party activities and their perceived closeness to the ruling PDP in the state. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Do stay tuned.
mind am. Me, when I leave my house for Lagos, come go celebrate with her for Dallas. I reach there now, they take me make here. They go put me for 1 year corner. Hey, me, I'm a boy. All for no cake globe trotter. Hey, even self the pilot they announced say I dey for them flight now. And you know say one of them say come meet me. Tell me say make her come follow them sit down for cockpit. Make we fly the plane together. Sure. This na the 3rd time today when Glow don serve me. Oh. So you want make me come up for line now? Make you for run go buy your Glow Talk Master. Eh?
Free on Glow Talk Master. Talk for 6 minutes and get 6 minutes free. Plus 15 megabytes of data. Free. Dial *606#. 2,000 naira for new customers. 1,000 naira for voice. Plus 1,000 naira for data. Glow.
Welcome back. This is Global News on Atlant Television Network, and now also the rest of our stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has put off his scheduled trip to Johannesburg, South Africa and Luanda, Angola as he waits further security briefings on the kidnapped Kebbi schoolgirls and the attack on Christ Apostolic Church worshippers in Eruku, Kwara State. This was contained in a statement released by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Wednesday in Abuja. The statement said that Tinubu has ordered the deployment of more security operatives to Eruku and the entire Ekiti local government area of the state, and directed the police to go after the bandits who attacked worshippers. ATN reports that President Tinubu was scheduled to leave Abuja on Wednesday to attend the 20th G20 Summit of Leaders in South Africa and thereafter proceed to Luanda to attend the 7th AU-EU Summit. However, according to Onanuga, the President will now await reports from Vice President Kashim Shettima, who has been directed by the President to visit Kebbi on his behalf. Tinubu will also await reports from the police and the Department of State Services regarding the attack in Kwara. According to the statement, the President reiterated his directive to the security agencies to do everything possible to rescue the 24 schoolgirls abducted by the bandits and bring the girls back home safe. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved changes in 2 key federal agencies, the National Inland Waterways Authority and the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. He redeployed and appointed officials to strengthen transparency, accountability, and effective service delivery in strategic sectors of government. The changes were contained in a statement issued yesterday by the Director of Information and Public Relations in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Segun Imohiosen. According to the statement, President Tinubu approved the redeployment of Musa Sakin Ada from his position as NIWA chairman to serve as Executive Secretary of NAITI. Mokhtar Shewuk Shagari was appointed as a new NIWA chair to replace Ada. Both decisions take immediate effect, the statement said. The President urged the newly appointed and redeployed officials to approach their responsibilities with patriotism and professionalism. He further encouraged them to apply their experience and expertise to advance reforms and deliver improved governance in their respective agencies. The President reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening institutions that promote transparency and accountability across the extractive and inland waterway sectors. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Kebbi State to meet with the state government and families of schoolgirls abducted from government girls' secondary school Maga by government. The aircraft conveying the Shettima landed at the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport in Benin, Kebbi. He was accompanied by the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Zubaida Omar, and other government officials. The VP had departed Abuja for Kebbi on the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is expected to convey Tinubu's message to the people of the state, as well as receive a briefing on the situation for onward communication to the president. And the attack on the Kebbi school claimed the life of the school's vice principal, Malam Hassan Makuku, who was reportedly killed while trying to prevent the bandits from taking the girls away. The police said on Monday that the combined tactical team were deployed to comb the forest in a bid to rescue the girls. President Bola Tinubu condemned the attack and commiserated with the families of those affected. He also postponed his scheduled trips to Johannesburg in South Africa and Luanda, Africa, to attend the 20th G20 Summit of Leaders and the 7th AU-EU Summit, respectively. Senate was thrown into mourning on Wednesday following the death of Senator Oke Ezea, who represented the Enugu North Senatorial District and who reportedly passed away in the United Kingdom while receiving medical treatment. Ezea, elected on the Labour Party platform, was the only LP member from Enugu State in the 10th National Assembly. His death marks him as the second serving senator from South East to die within 2 years, following the passing of Senator Ifeanyi Uba of Anambra State in London in July 2024 at age 52. As news of his passing reached the National Assembly, colleagues paid tribute to Ezea, describing him as a humble, principled, and prayerful parliamentarian whose loss leaves a significant void in the chamber sectors. Senators remembered him as a close friend and a respected colleague, noting his dedication, courage, and unshakable conviction in legislative matters. Senator Orji Uzokalo, representing Abia North, extended condolences to the Senate President, the people of Enugu State, Governor Pitamba, the Nsukka community, and Ezea's family, praying for strength to bear their loss. Senator Natasha Akpotu-Duagon of Kogi State also mourned him, describing him as a gentle and wise colleague whose encouragement sustained her during difficult times. The Senate is expected to formally address his death at plenary, with a minute of silence likely to be observed in his honor in line with Legislative Act tradition. Senate on Wednesday waded into the long-standing leadership crisis at the Equipment Leasing Registration Authority, reopening investigations into the alleged unlawful removal of the agency's former acting chief executive officer, Saidu Njida. The crisis, which has festered since mid-2023, began after the federal government dissolved the governing boards of ministries, departments, and agencies shortly after President Bola Tinubu assumed office. The dissolution, announced through a circular from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, plunged ELRA into a prolonged administrative vacuum. The absence of a clearly communicated transition or disengagement process deepened tension within ELRA, leading to accusations of arbitrary decision-making, stalled operations, and a spate of petitions from aggrieved stakeholders. It was against this backdrop that the Northern Alliance Committee petitioned the Senate, alleging that Njida, who had served as executive chairman and acting CEO, was removed without adherence to the ELRA Act and relevant public service rules. At Wednesday's sitting of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions chaired by Senator Neda Imasuen, the committee reviewed the petition urging lawmakers to intervene and direct Njida's reinstatement pending amendments to the ELRA Act. NAC representative Professor Ibrahim Madugu argued that the former CEO's removal lacked legitimacy. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, has assured the committee of the 10th House of Representatives of ensuring that no public property is left to decay or fall into neglect. The Speaker gave the assurance at the inauguration of an ad hoc committee to investigate the federal government abandoned landed properties and buildings across the country. The Speaker, who was represented by the Chief Whip of the House, Honorable Usman Bello Kumo, said the investigation would cover the location, status, history, and current occupancy of all abandoned federal properties alongside the policy failures that led to their abandonment. He tasked the committee to be meticulous and fearless in identifying assets that have been left idle, mismanaged, encroached upon, or illegally acquired. Chairman of the ad hoc committee, Honorable Daniel Amos, vowed to reclaim and redeploy national assets that have been left to rot across the country. He said the assignment is both a national obligation and a moral duty as thousands of abandoned federal properties represent lost opportunities for development, housing, revenue, and public benefit.
To investigate the authenticity and the status of these said landed properties across the country. It is further part of the responsibilities of this committee to review the Presidential Implementation Committee report and recommend further and better recommendations for the betterment of good governance in this country. It is equally very important part aspect of this committee to identify the state and the status of the said landed and properties across this country. So I expect and I recommend and I urge my colleagues, members of this committee, to do a thorough job by collecting relevant information that will help identify these landed properties and make their recommendations.
Discharge this mandate with utmost diligence, transparency, and fidelity to the public trust, ensuring that every aspect of the responsibility entrusted to us is executed with precision and integrity. We further commit to delivering outcomes and reflect the highest standard of legislative oversight, timely, evidence-driven, and firmly anchored in national interest.
Mandate of the committee include establishing a national inventory of abandoned assets, examining the financial, economic, and developmental costs of the abandonment, determining the MDAs responsible for each property, investigating administrative, regulatory, and budgetary failures, recommending recovery, rehabilitation, or productive reuse, and proposing long-term reform to prevent future waste. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has endorsed the bill seeking to provide free medical services in government facilities and some tax exemption and stipends for senior citizens across the country. Honorable Tajuddin made this known in Abuja while delivering a keynote address at the public hearing on a bill seeking to provide certain rights for older persons to ensure health and economic relief, as well as protection for their social and civil rights and for related matters. Represented by Honorable Usman Bello Kumo, the Speaker, while noting that many of these social benefits were previously covered by traditional families, support systems underscored the resolution of the House to provide a formal legal structure that will protect the aged from abuse. According to the Speaker, this older person's rights and privileges bill has become necessary because existing legislations like the National Senior Citizen Center Act 2018 have not fully taken care of the peculiar needs of older persons, and their rights are constantly abridged by others. In her remarks, Chairman, House Committee on Women and Social Development, Honorable Kafilat Ogbara, explained that the provisions of this bill will reflect our collective responsibility to ensure that our older population receives the dignity, respect, and support they deserve.
As a nation, we must borrow leave from well-meaning developed countries, how they treat their citizens, particularly the older ones. So it is a coalition of these ideas that will help the committee fashion out that legislative framework that will help the country put in place a legislation that will help achieve this particular piece of legislation that, if passed, when passed, will serve as a fallback to our older ones.
So as we know, older persons often face unique challenges that can affect their health, economic stability, and social engagement. This legislation aims to address these issues head-on by establishing a framework that guarantees their rights and protections. House Bill 2098 seeks to ensure health and economic relief for older persons, recognizing that access to quality health care and financial security are fundamental human rights. It also emphasizes the importance of protecting their social and civic rights, allowing them to participate fully in society and contribute their wisdom and experience.
In his presentation, National Coordinator and CEO of National Social Investment Program Agency, Badamasi Lawal, who was represented by Dr. Insikak Okon, urged that the Older Persons Bill 2025 under consideration should be harmonized with the National Senior Citizen Center Act 2018 for ease of operation ability in supporting older persons in Nigeria. On his part, Barrister Martins Ekago, who spoke on behalf of National Pension Commission, described the proposed legislation as a positive development which would further strengthen and expand the legal framework on social security in Nigeria.
The right of older persons, as encapsulated in Part 3, should itemize the right in bulletin points and should begin with older persons here. Subparagraph 5 and 6 needs to include that at the beginning. The provision on mobility and accessibility in physical appears in page C1026 should be deleted to read provision of mental and health care to be provided in the short title Mobility and Accessibility to Building is provided in Part 4. The National Social Investment Program Agency is of the opinion that Older Bill 2025 should be harmonized with National Senior Citizen Center Act 2018 for ease of operationality.
Beneficiaries under the Pension Reform Act are substantially beneficiaries of the contributory pension scheme. And so what they are substantially entitled to under the Act is the monthly pension. That is what the Act guarantees. So if you exclude them from the provisions of this bill, they will not enjoy some of these other social rights.
Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has recognized Sakwato, Jigawa, Zamfara, Taraba, Delta, Plateau, and the Federal Capital Territory as the top performers in implementing key resolutions from the 2024 National Council on Health. This was disclosed by the Ministry's Director of Health Planning, Research and Statistics, Camille Shoretire, on Wednesday while presenting the implementation status report during the ongoing 66th NCH meeting in Calabar, themed My Health, My Right, Accelerating Universal Health Coverage Through Equity, Resilience and Innovation. The NCH meeting brings together stakeholders to assess and advance health policies across the country. The NCH is a high-level governance body responsible for formulating, coordinating and implementing health policies and programs in Nigeria. According to the report, Abia, Kogi, Bauchi, Enugu and Osun states have recorded slower progress in executing the health sector commitment agreed upon at last year's council. Shoretire noted that although the council adopts resolutions annually, many states continue to struggle with translating policy decisions into actionable programs. He said these implementation gaps remains a major barrier to nationwide progress and urged stronger technical capacity at the sub-national level to improve execution. Operatives of the Nigeria Police on Wednesday seized the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party at Wadata Plaza, Abuja. The development is linked to the face-off between two factions of the party on Tuesday. Pandemonium broke out at the facility on Tuesday when the Saminu Turaki-led faction clashed with members loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Yesom Wike. Governor Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State and his Bauchi counterpart Bala Mohammed were tear-gassed during the confrontation. All Progressives Congress has criticized the People's Democratic Party for calling what he described as a foreign invasion of Nigeria. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Felix Morka, in a statement on Tuesday described the call as reckless and unpatriotic. ATN reports that the new factional chairman of the PDP, Tanimu Turaki, while addressing journalists on Tuesday over the crisis ravaging his party, called on foreign powers to intervene in Nigeria to save the country from alleged Christian genocide and to protect democracy. Reacting, the APC spokesperson said Turaki appeared desperate, at his wits' end, confused, incoherent, and grossly lacking in stamina and capacity to manage his party's crises. According to him, Nigerians expected that Turaki would set himself on an urgent peace-building mission to bring his party's warring factions together in dialogue towards finding possible pathways to peace and reconciliation. 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has urged Nigeria's politicians and leaders at all levels to unite against the growing insecurity across the country. Obi made a call on his verified X account on Wednesday, highlighting the recent escalation of violent attacks. The heightened insecurity includes the killing of a Nigerian army personnel, including a brigadier general, by ISWAP terrorists. In a separate incident, government attacked the Christ Apostolic Church branch in Eruku town, Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, killing 3 worshippers and abducting several others, including the pastor. Obi emphasized that while the country faces such grave threats, internal political conflicts and party disputes continue to distract from addressing these urgent security challenges. Justice Emeka Witi of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has adjourned the trial of Ansarul leaders Mahmoud Usman and Abubakar Abba to January 15, 2026. The trial was postponed after their lawyers requested time to assess and review the charges and evidence, which remained with the DSS where the suspect had been held. Usman has pleaded guilty to one count related to economic crime and was sentenced to 15 years in prison, while Abba has pleaded not guilty to 32 terrorism-related charges. The DSS alleges that between 2015 and 2024, the two masterminded bombings, kidnappings, and other acts of terrorism, financing their activities through illegal mining and ransom collections. They are also accused of receiving terror training abroad and providing the same to their followers. Both suspects remain in DSS custody as the trial awaits commencement. Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has claimed that the United States of America and its President Donald Trump are threatening Nigeria due to some economic gains. Gumi made the claims while speaking at the opening of a one-day summit organized by the Congregation of Southern Nigerian Ulamas. The summit, with the theme Confronting the Economic and Security Challenges Facing Islamic Ummah in Southern Nigeria, was held in Ibadan on Wednesday. However, Gumi claims that America and Trump want to divide the country for economic gains, noting that there are some natural resources in some parts of the country which the U.S. and its president are targeting to occupy through division of the citizens. Gumi admitted that there are some security challenges facing the country, noted that Nigerians must work to solve the problems locally. He then advised Nigerians not to allow any foreigner to divide the country due to their own self-interest. And now some business news. Debt Management Office has announced a combined 460 billion naira fresh offer for subscription through an auction comprising two reopenings of existing federal government bonds. According to the official offer circular issued on Tuesday, a demo will accept bids for 230 billion naira for the 17.945% FGN August 2030 bond 5-year reopening and 213 billion naira for the 17.95% Federal Government of Nigeria June 2032 bond 7-year reopening. Successful bidders are expected to complete settlement on November 26, 2025. The auction scheduled for November 24, 2025 is part of the government's ongoing efforts to strengthen domestic borrowing, enhance market liquidity, and support budgetary financing through long-term, low-risk instruments. Units of sale are pegged at 1,000 units, with a minimum subscription of 50 million, 1,000 naira, and subsequent with the minimum subscription of 50 million, 1,000 naira, and subsequent increment in multiples of 1,000 naira. Since both instruments are reopenings of previously issued bonds, investors will not be bidding for new coupon rates. Instead, they will pay market-driven prices determined by the yield to maturity bid that clears the auction volume, in addition to any accrued interest on the instrument. Interest on the bonds will be payable semi-annually, providing predictable cash flow, a feature attractive to pension funds, insurance companies, fund managers, and other institutional investors seeking stable, medium to long-term returns. United Kingdom has called for stronger regional security and political cooperation to tackle the growing threat of terrorism in West Africa and the Sahel. Speaking at the United Nations Security Council meeting, the UK charged the affairs to the UN. Ambassador James Carrick, said the UK shares concern over the expansion of Islamic State and Al-Qaeda affiliates across the region. Noting the deadly impact on civilians, Carrick outlined 3 key points. First, he emphasized the importance of regional cooperation. He added that regionally led security initiatives could play a crucial role in countering terrorism, highlighting efforts towards a standby force for rapid deployment and initiatives such as the Multinational Joint Task Force and ECOWAS counter-terrorism strategy. He also referenced the Security Council Resolution 2719 as a potential tool for supporting AU-led peace operations. Secondly, the UK reaffirmed its commitment to African-led initiatives and partnerships. Finally, the UK stressed that addressing the root cause of terrorism is essential. This includes improving governance, reducing poverty, countering disinformation, protecting civil space, and tackling climate change. Here now is 18 Sports News. Turkish Super League champions Galatasaray has provided an injury update on striker Victor Osimhen. Osimhen suffered a hamstring injury during Nigeria's 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff final against the Democratic Republic of Congo on Sunday night and was substituted at halftime for Jerome Adams-Akor. After returning to Turkey, his 26-year-old underwent an MRI scan. Galatasaray confirmed that examination revealed a moderate strain and bleeding in his left posterior muscle, and treatment has commenced. Osimhen is expected to miss Galatasaray's upcoming clash with Gökçen Belegi on Saturday. And now entertainment news. Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Damini Ogulu, popularly known as Burna Boy, has responded to backlash over his recent decision to remove a couple from his concert in Denver for sleeping during his performance. The incident drew criticism after the woman involved claimed it had a negative impact on her. During a recent live stream, Burna Boy defended his actions, emphasizing that he prioritizes fans with financial means and does not feel obliged to accommodate everyone. The response has reignited debate over his treatment of fans who remain central to his musical success, with some threatening to cancel him. This is not the first time Burna Boy has faced controversy over fan interactions. He previously removed the male fan who rushed the stage and once asked another fan to leave for not dancing during the performance. He did not issue apologies for either incident. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Navy mobilizes forces for Rivers territorial water security. Police sealed off PDP National Secretariat, and Tinubu suspends trip to G20 AU-EU summit. DMO announces 460 billion naira reopened FGN bonds, and UK calls for united actions against West Africa terrorism threat as Galatasaray provide injury updates on Osimhen, and Burna Boy responds to backlash over Denver concert incident. I am Favor, Chief Question Michael. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, now X, at Atlantic TV Net, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. And remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.